So I can only imagine what the two cars coming from each side saw this naked, fish-hosed, 5'5" Asian American stud dumping ice over the hill.
Welcome to The Cauldron, a podcast hosted by Ed Bolden-Grear, the creator of Ravens Vail. In each episode, Ed will have free-flowing conversations about life, culture, and personal growth. Expect to hear from storytellers, authors, experts, life gurus, thought leaders, and influencers. The Cauldron is a place where concoctions of a lot of ideas are brewed down to potions that are sometimes important and useful, sometimes eccentric and bizarre, but always just what you need. The Cauldron podcast may contain explicit language and thematic elements not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome to the Ravens Vail Cauldron podcast, where we gather around the mystical cauldron to stoke the embers of curiosity and ignite the fires of imagination. I'm your host, Ed Bolden-Grear, and joining me is my co-host, the conjurer of curiosity, Jacob Garner, a.k.a. Frady Cat.
Hello, everyone. In our season opener, Ed and I will look back on the highlights and memorable moments of 2024, sharing personal year-end reviews and revisiting our favorite episodes. We'll talk about some significant changes we're making to our podcast format, setting the stage for an exciting new direction in 2025.
Hey there, Jacob. How you doing, man?
I am doing fantastic. I'm in the Christmas spirit. Everything's going great. What about you?
I'm doing great. This episode's going to come out on the very last day of 2024.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, 2024. You've been good. You've been bad. We've been hopeful. You've been a little disappointing.
That's a bit of an understatement.
So what's going on?
Nothing much, man. I definitely have been going hard in the paint on the holiday Christmas shopping right now.
So you got your Christmas shopping done?
Almost.
Almost?
I will say almost. Me and Mytho literally were shopping for about 5.5 straight hours the other night. It was terrible. There's so much crap. There's just so much garbage that they are pushing as, gift ideas for people. I was really surprised at how useless most of the stuff I saw on the shelves were.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't even. I've got most of the Christmas shopping done for the year because we're going to the beach for the whole week of Christmas.
You just got to keep rubbing that in.
I know. But seriously, here's the problem. Jared and I are at a point in our lives where mostly we just buy the things we need.
Exactly,
okay?
Yeah.
Not always the things we want, but the things we need. And when it comes to gifts, we give each other some gifts throughout the year, but our anniversary is in October.
Yeah.
His birthday's in November.
Yes.
And Christmas is in December.
Damn, back to back to back.
Back to back to back. And it's not, hear me, it's not a financial thing.
No, it's not.
It's a, what the fuck?
Yeah, do you get
Do
it?
I get him?
And then at the end of Christmas, 2 months later, it's Valentine's Day.
I know. And Valentine's is pretty easy for us. We typically don't exchange gifts. We being in the industry we're in, we don't celebrate on Valentine's Day. We set aside a day and we do a special date night and the whole thing. But Christmas this year is kind of infuriating.
Yeah, you're just out of ideas at this point.
I mean, last year, if you remember, I bought 3 big gifts.
Yeah, I remember.
And labeled them 1, 2, and 3 and had him choose each holiday which he would get. And, they're stocking stuffers, but we normally get each other one big gift. Mm-hmm. And the problem is we just have the hardest time creating lists.
Oh, me too. Well, not really for me. You see me carrying a notepad around at work all the time. I'm a big list guy, but I'm the worst person to shop for. I really am. Mainly because I'm a lot like you guys. I'm at a point in my life that if I want something, I just go buy it. And if I haven't bought it for myself, it's because I'm saving for it. And I'm not going to ask somebody to buy it for me.
Well, I don't like spoiling surprises.
Okay.
But you mentioned something earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You had mentioned it a month ago.
Well,
you probably shouldn't tell anybody to buy you that gift anymore. just don't.
Okay, got you.
We'll just keep that a secret until it happens.
Okay, that's fair.
So we were in Greenville, South Carolina this past weekend.
Yeah.
And it was a bunch of fun.
Greer family Christmas, right?
Greer family Christmas. We had T-shirts, the whole 9 yards. There's about 35 people there.
Damn.
It was at our cousin Bailey's house.
I didn't know you guys were Filipino too. 35 people. Holy crap.
It was a lot of people. And one of the things that I found so fun, okay, and let me be clear. The age range here is from 70s all the way down to 22 years old.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So big range, but we played games, not board games. We played games. One of the funnest games we played was you take a basket, like a laundry basket, and you fill it with bows.
Yeah.
And then you have little buckets, and you set chairs in a row, and you know how they do the water?
Oh, yes.
We did it with gift bows that you put on a gift.
Yeah.
And whoever caught the most team-wise won. I love silly games like that. I thought if you could see the people laughing as it was happening, and we're blindfolded, by the way.
Yeah.
It was just hilarious. It was just really fun. It was our second weekend in a row to be going to Greenville, South Carolina.
Yeah. I know you were super stoked about the car rides.
Yeah. I love being there. I love being here. If they don't quickly learn how to transport us, I'm going to think science is fake.
Yeah.
Science is real, guys.
I had a controversy at my family's Thanksgiving. I was centered around the game. So I've told you guys repeatedly that we do a lot of gambling around the holiday. And the game of choice primarily is bingo, okay?
bingo.
Yep. And this year, I was in charge of calling out the bingo numbers. And we have a big board that we've made with the corresponding letter and numbers. So that way, as you call out the ball, you put it down there. So that way, it's a quick reference for somebody calling a bingo. The final bingo, we always make it extremely difficult because the prize this year was like a $50 scratch-off lottery ticket and a $100 Amazon gift card.
Do you make it like where you have to fill the whole card?
This one was a picture frame, so we went around the entire edge of it, right? And this took a very long time. It was the longest round, obviously, because of the prize. So when I finally heard somebody call out a bingo, there were only 4 bingo balls left in the cage. But when I looked down at the board, I realized we had 5 empty slots left. And then I went, hey, guys, we're missing... It looks like N38 or something like that. You might have thought that I just set off a bomb in that house because they take it very seriously. They started calling in the legitimacy of the entire evening. They said, we got to give all the prizes back. We got to keep playing some more. It was like 3 hours of bingo. It was, we found it. It was in the box at the very bottom, right? But yeah, it's shaking the face.
Mysteriously like
an inside job?
Inside job.
Well, what was hilarious was that
Zach.
Everybody said collectively, there was like 3 people that were like, I needed N38. And I was like, yeah,
sure
whatever.
You did. I was on our way back. We went for a little hike. So there's this kind of roadside overlook.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a long hike, but I like to go take pictures of the different seasons. Okay. Podcasting, we don't use visuals, although we have equipment now, thanks to one of our great, loving family members and fans, Jack Greer.
Do you want to make the announcement of what we have planned, or we want to keep that under wraps right now?
We'll hold that till a little later.
Okay.
But anyway, here's we stopped and we went walking, hiking, and it was like a 30-degree incline, and it was like asphalt steps and then wood, and it was really a nice little park, if you want to call it that. And it was at 2,800 feet elevation.
Damn.
Okay. So we hiked up there. There was all kinds of graffiti on the thing, and there was one that said, Wendy, okay, first name, Wendy loves Jacob. 2024.
Aww.
And I thought, who is this Wendy?
Yeah, I know.
And why is she loving on my Jacob?
Boys, don't listen to this podcast.
So, Ollie, Matho, I don't know who Wendy is, but let's go find her.
I actually had a mouthful of Wendy's earlier before we recorded the.
It was the Ghost Pepper Ranch sandwich is fire.
Oh yeah,
literally, it's hot, but it's also delicious.
It's pretty damn good. And speaking
Wendy's
of which,
not a sponsor,
not a sponsor. But we're looking for you. Speaking of which, if you guys wanted to see, I actually finally I got my spanking. I got a good talking to from a couple of listeners, including, my co-host here.
You really like spankings, though.
Unfortunately, but not this one. So I really am for lack of a better term, pun fully intended, a ghost online. I really don't engage that much on social media. It's just never been appealing to me. But after some consultation and some advice from some people, clearly, I want to talk to you guys more outside of just coming through your speakers or your headphones when you listen to the podcast. So if you guys want, I have made a Blue Sky account, finally.
Go Blue Sky.
Yes. I really detest most social media, but I really like the mission behind Blue Sky. I like the community. It seems less toxic than Twitter or X, And if you guys want to follow me, I am Jacob Garner, RVPN. That's my handle on Blue Sky. There's hyphens in between the name and RVPN. But if you guys want, speaking of the Wendy's, I actually uploaded a picture right before we recorded this episode of us in the G-Spot. So I'm also reposting like really funny stuff that I'm finding. I found a funny meme about a UFO. I'm actually really liking Blue Sky right now.
It is really a cool platform. Jacob, I think you also are forgetting something.
Yeah, what's that?
Two things. One, you are wearing the most lovely hat today. Hold on. I'm going to read this hat. It says, cute little green frog sitting on a lily pad, and it says, Toad Suck, Arkansas.
Toad Suck, Arkansas.
Where'd you get that hat, man?
I got it from a great friend of mine. Great friends of mine, actually, and you guys gave it to me in Palanchos, which was hilarious. And I've been wearing this hat out. It's been amazing. It's posted on the Blue Sky post. If you guys want to see this amazing hat, I'm wearing it.
Okay, so that was the first thing. I just needed to acknowledge your hat. Second, I want to just kind of get to. I'm pulling something up for you.
Okay.
And I want you to talk about www.jacob-garner.com.
Oh, yes. So Ed made me a really cool website, bought the domain for me and everything. And I have all of my information basically on there. You guys can reach me if you guys want to send me like cool alien information, or
fan mail,
love letters. I'll accept all of it. And I have a blog on there that I think it's not going to follow like a structure. There isn't going to be a certain theme. I'm just going to post whatever I'm really thinking about too. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's probably really going to be a lot about aliens and MMA, if I'm going to be 100% honest with you.
Well, so far the two that you've posted is aliens and MMA. Alien abductions, to be quite Frank. There's also information on there about getting in contact with you about your empowerment through self-defense for the LGBTQIA plus community, which is sponsored by Appalachian Outreach.
Yeah, Appalachian Outreach. They've been working. They've been sending a lot of the students. Man, I got to say, too, that class, in light of the election results, unfortunately for everybody, but fortunate for our class, it has driven a lot of people to start seriously considering learning how to defend themselves adequately in this new political climate we found ourselves in. So, sucks for everybody, but it's really awesome because we're building a great community. Everybody that's been participating in this class, they're not only having fun and working out, but they're making friends. Like, it's very difficult, I would say, in this day and age for people in my age range that's part of the queer community to meet someplace that isn't a bar, you know? And I didn't intend for this class to kind of be this little enclave, but to quote Bob Ross, it's just a happy little accident. And I love it.
Yeah. I'm very proud of you about that, man. Jacob, I think maybe we should. I could talk to you all day, but maybe we should get into our topic.
Gotcha.
So, highlights of your 2024?
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of highlights, obviously, that I have from this year. I would say the one at the top of my list is I met Ollie. I met him right after I got back from my cruise, from what I can remember. And that's just been...
Ollie, did you hear that? He can't really remember.
Yeah.
God, I'm a troublemaker.
I know, right? Take that part out.
No, don't take that part out.
But I can truly say, like in most healthy relationships, whether it's a friendship, a work relationship, or a romantic relationship, I can definitely say my relationship with Ollie has very much enriched my life, and I'm so thankful that he's in it. That's probably the top one. The second one, Mytho moved in with me earlier this year, which was awesome. He's a fantastic partner, cooks and cleans all the time. It's amazing. He makes some pretty damn good steak tacos, I might add. That's been incredible. It's so great when you can finally have somebody that you're dating move in with you and it doesn't blow up your relationship.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. And then I think the third thing, I've just been getting really, really close to all of my family members. I think that getting all this love from my partners and my family, it's like the Black Panther suit, you know, when he takes a lot of kinetic energy on it and then it can reflect back even stronger. I'm getting so much love from so many different people in my life right now that it's allowing me to love even more. And that's
the way it's supposed to be.
I'm telling you, 2024 was a lovable year for me. I'll say that much.
So what was your favorite episode that we did?
Hands down, the Ghost Ship episode. I loved it so much that I've actually told the ghost canoe story in my personal life to like 3 different groups of people now.
I was in all 3 groups of those people.
I love it, man. It is so great.
I think that's pretty awesome. What did you think was the most challenging part of this past season?
I mean,
2024 particularly.
2024, I mean, obviously the political situation was pretty challenging for me, but I'm navigating it with
grace,
hope, optimism. You know, I'm not particularly one to just roll over and give up. Right. So I'm just going to keep fighting, quite literally keep fighting too, actually, with my self-defense class. But then also, I would say the most challenging episode for me this year was probably the child hunger episode, even though it's one that I'm most proud of. I think that it was just difficult. I mean, you were in the studio with me that day. We had to stop a few times. I got really overwhelmed. Great job editing it, Nick, because yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of starting and stopping for it, for sure. But enough about me, Ed. What about you?
Well,
let's talk about your top 3 favorite things that happened to you this year.
So, I want to, since you just talked about this, my favorite episode, I'm going to start there.
Okay.
My favorite episode was the child hunger episode.
Yeah.
season 2, episode 15. Without a doubt, it has caused me to take action in a lot of different areas.
Yeah, I know.
That people will hear about here shortly. No spoilers. But what I will say, if I'm going to set that one aside, because that one was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And very emotional.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say that my favorite episode besides that one was the Jacob Haunting series, where we did the paranormal investigation.
Yeah.
You know, I had so much fun with everybody that was there, especially you. And I got to see you in a different light that night.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about phasmophobia a lot, but I got to really see you build your courage and just meet it head on. And the outcome was great.
I think it was fantastic.
As far as the things that have impacted me the most this past year was, moving into this space was definitely not only challenging, just getting the move while we're still doing our full-time jobs and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But it has allowed us to do so much more. So that was an amazing part of 2024. And it happened pretty rapidly.
It's incredible to think about how at home I feel in this space, that it's wild for me to think that we weren't always in here. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't reflect back to the other place.
Yeah.
As cozy as it was also not very functional.
No. Could you imagine if we tried to do the After Dark episode in that space?
No, we couldn't have done the After Dark. But a couple other things. Learning more about our business.
Yeah.
Because we've grown to such an extent with the whole business, not necessarily podcasting, but for the whole business, we grew to such an extent over the past 20 years that I understand the business a lot more today. So that was a real highlight for me because there was a couple of things that happened that were major lights going on, you know? And then I'm going to try not to be super emotional about this.
Go for it.
But this past weekend, okay, at the Greer family Christmas party, I have attended a lot of those. You know, I've been in the family for almost 9 years now. But it's hard to say. But this weekend was the first time I felt like I always felt like I was accepted and was there and people wanted me to be there. But this year was the first time it felt like I was a part of it.
That's awesome.
And I could probably say that more eloquently, but that's my 3 for right now.
It's a pretty strong 3.
So
what was the biggest challenge you had?
Oh, God.
Both in this year and last season.
So last season, it was just time management.
Oof,
but this, because we had everything going on.
Especially cons, October. Yeah. Holy shit.
Horror Fest, the Masquerade, 2 cons last year. So it was really, the season was just for me about time management as far as challenges go. But my biggest challenge, or the biggest takeaway for the whole 2024 was my health. As you know, I've had a lung issue that has been lingering, but it's been improving.
Good.
And I'm back to where I can do some exercise and things like that. And so really excited about that. I'm not trying to push it because I don't want anything to happen negatively. So that's probably it.
Well, I mean, that's pretty good, man. You left out your actual, like, personal favorite highlight from last year, and that was me at the Masquerade.
Oh, yes.
Have we talked about that on the podcast?
I don't think we have. Explicit content here. So we have this kind of serious but ongoing kind of joke in the little work community that we have. Jacob is very physically fit. And anytime that we need something heavy lifted, he goes into his 5'5" strongman act.
Oh yeah, puff up my chest,
Yep.
bring my arms wide.
And we were cleaning up from the masquerade, and our core group of friends was there. And I said, gosh, I wish I had a big, strong man to take this ice chest outside and dump it across the parking lot.
Can I just say, before you continue, I had a few drinks.
Oh, had a few drinks. But I'm going to also describe his costume. He came dressed as a witch.
Yep.
Because he entered the masquerade contest. And he had a poncho on.
Yeah.
A long poncho, which was long enough to be a knee-length dress. And he had fishnet hose on, pantyhose. And he had some kind of spank type thing underneath it. And he had extremely raised platform heels.
Oh, yeah. I looked great.
Yep. He had taken his shoes off, but as soon as he heard my call for a strongman, he whips his head around. Now, remember, multiple drinks into this evening. He whipped his head around. He, without thinking about it, threw off the poncho, which leaves him naked except for the fishnets and the spank things.
They're
that he had
basically
on.
just like boxers.
Boxers. And he runs over, he grabs the ice chest, and he waddles, because it's bigger than he is, waddles it over to the edge of the parking lot where he dumps the ice out. As 2 cars are coming, Kristen's husband's truck was started and was spotlighting him. So I can only imagine what the 2 cars coming from each side saw this naked, fish-hosed, 5'5" Asian American stud dumping ice over the hill.
Right in front of the Lord's house, too. Right across the street.
Yes, there was a church right across the street. So, yeah, that was probably the biggest excitement for the year. We'll say it that way.
And apparently at some point during that night, I gave away those heels.
You did.
Which sucks.
Guys, we hope that you've really enjoyed today's episode. You probably noticed a couple of changes to our format, and we would like to talk about that a little bit. We always want to be open and honest with you guys, and one of the things that we looked at when we did our survey last year is what were you all looking for? And people told us that they were looking for shorter episodes. Some of our episodes went up to an hour, almost 2.
Yes.
So we talked to some industry people, and we've come up with a really keen 30-minute format. Okay, today we're not following that very much because it's the first one. We're also going to have enhanced production quality.
Yes.
Getting some new equipment coming in. And we're really introducing something that we're going to call unscripted content.
Yes.
Allowing us to have spontaneous discussions, real-time reactions, and really just that authentic interaction that you all keep telling us that you like so much. It's not that we're not going to do research and sometimes look at cryptids and sometimes look at ghost ships and all of that, aliens. But we're going to be more authentic behind the mics. We needed some big structure our first 2 seasons, but we've gotten to be champs here. And we feel a lot more confident about what we're doing now. So thank you all for your feedback.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. And, provide more feedback. You can send me messages on my website or at my Blue Sky account or anything like that. Obviously, Ed, you've got a bunch of social media that they can contact. Let us know how you feel about the new direction, too.
Yep. So, yeah, we're really interested in what you think. We do this for you guys, and we want to know what you want to hear. We've been doing a lot of planning, and
We've already got the schedule for this entire season.
So we're ready to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, family, you adults have a few chores to do. Go on over to ravensvail.com and see about doing your chores on social media. Follow us on all the social media platforms we made available just for you folks. Like, listen, subscribe, and follow wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you don't mind, please leave us a good rating and a kind comment. You can find the Ravens Vail Cauldron podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Just search for Ravens Vail Cauldron podcast and hit the follow button so you can stay up to date with the latest episodes. So until next time, family,
see you soon.
The Ravens Vail Cauldron is a production of Small Raven Media. Today's episode was hosted by Ed Bolden-Grear with co-host Jacob A. Garner. Audio engineering and sound design by Nick DeVan at Nicky D Sound. Copyrighted 2025, Small Raven Media. All rights reserved.